Hello, my Scrappy friends. It is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for day number 18 of Scraptember. I am scrap lifting this gorgeous layout, but from Gloria Scraps. It is for the prompt of stitching. Now, she says in her description that it is, I think, combined with a sketch, perhaps. I did not see a sketch. I only saw her gorgeous layout. So that is what I am scrap lifting. And what I have done is I have used the collection from Coco Vanilla Studios called These Days. And from their 6x8 paper pad, I cut out some little triangles, well, some big triangles really, in a variety of different pattern papers, and use those and stitch those all in the same sort of coral color around the edge, and I use those to create the base of my page. I'm then sorting out all the florals that I have, and I've just used them all, and I'm putting them into florals without leaves, florals with leaves, and then little sort of sprigs. And I'm going to start with the florals without leaves. And now I'm sorting those into colors because I want to make sure I don't put too many of the same color next to each other. So I've got some blue, I've got some yellow, I've got some green, and I've got some orange and coral color. So I'm just going to start along the edge here first. But I did also realize that I probably need to put my photos on sooner rather than later because they might cover up some of the spots where the florals need to go, and there's no point in wasting those florals underneath the photographs. So I've got 3 photos. One is of my husband with a beer paddle, like a tasting paddle where you can taste all different types of beers. The other is of my mum, my dad, myself, and my husband sitting at a dinner table. We are out for lunch for my birthday. And then the third one is, I'm not sure what this game is called, but it's a really long wooden table that's covered in salt, and you push these discs down. You might be black or you might be red, and the aim of the game is to land them in certain sections of the table. So you stand right at the other end, and if you can get them as close to the edge without falling off, you get 3 points, and then in the middle you get 2 points, and then at the end you get 1 point, and if you're less than that, you just get no points. But you might also knock the other players off. It's kind of like curling, I think, but in miniature. Someone will know what it's called. I'm not sure, but this lovely couple were having their own lunch out, and they were playing this game, and my boys were so fascinated. They were just standing there staring at them, that these beautiful people let my children have a turn, which was really, really lovely, while we were eating lunch. So that was really nice of them to do that. So as you saw, I started by putting my florals without leaves in the V, the triangle around the edge, and now I'm adding in my florals with leaves. And then I'm kind of dispersing a mixture of the two, but mostly my florals with leaves now. And popping those in, trying to layer them in, and some on top, some under, turning the leaves in some ways and some in other ways, trying to mix up the colors, not worrying if there's gaps because I know I can fill those gaps like I am doing right now. What you didn't see because I cut the video is when I was just putting all those single ones on to fill those gaps, they are sticky. I cut the video, but I put foam on the back of all of those and stickiness on the back of all of those. So when I just placed those on, they're properly on. I stuck all those on properly. And so they have a bit of a popped up dimension. Something that the original layout did, the Gloria Scraps layout did, is she actually stitched some of her florals as well, which just really adds to the texture and dimension on the page, and that is a beautiful touch. And I think if I was to do something like this again, I would definitely spend the time to just stitch a couple of those extra floral pieces to add just that little bit more. She absolutely didn't stitch all of them. She just stitched probably 4 or 5 that were on the top, and it's just a really beautiful effect that gave, just some more texture. And speaking of texture, I am popping on a title that came from the These Days collection. It says Grateful, and it is kind of flocked. It is felted a little bit, which is beautiful. And then I have used the little mini thickers that came, or puffy stickers, puffy alpha stickers that came in the collection as well. And I'm just writing happy birthday. So it all kind of flows in together. Now, I could absolutely stop at this stage. I've got a little embellishment cluster. I've got all those beautiful florals, and I have a title, but I'm actually going to keep going and add 2 more embellishment clusters as well. Just making sure I'm laying all my letters out perfectly. I like the effect of all the different coloured letters as well. I think it looks really cute and just ties in all those rainbow colours that are in the whole layout. So next I'm going to do an embellishment cluster that kind of gets a little bit lost in the layout, but that's okay. It goes next to my husband's head. I think I'm doing that one next. I'm trying to remember the order. Yeah, here we go here. Just putting on a little tag, moving that floral sprig because I didn't want to waste it underneath the tag. And then a little one of the buttons and a little puffy sticker that says sweet. And then I'm putting on this little circular wreath sticker sort of to be the base of this cluster. And this little sort of flag sticker says home on it. And now home doesn't really suit this particular layout because I'm not at home. So I will just use a little tiny word to stick over top of that as well, just to make it more fitting for the layout that I am doing. You might have also noticed way back when I made the first layout cluster, the first cluster down underneath there, there's a picture of what looks to me like a mother and her child sitting and reading. But the child is a girl. So it's something that I will find a little bit difficult to use on a layout. So I actually shoved the majority of the people underneath the photos and just used the base of it to almost be like a tag or a mounting piece for that cluster down underneath there. Just gave a little bit of color and something to base the cluster on top of. But you can't see any of the people anymore, which worked really well, and it was a really nice way to use that piece of embellishment that I might not normally use. So that was really fun. I hope you have enjoyed watching day number 18 of Scraptember, and I can't wait to see you guys all again on the 20th. Can you believe that we are so close to the end now?